Most health coaches think carving out an expert niche and creating a health coaching practice that is successful has to be long, complicated, hard. But in fact, the opposite is the key. In fact,
that was easy.
I keep this easy button on my desk as I highlight this with people that I'm working with. So in this video, we're going to talk about carving out a purpose-driven expert niche. Now, this is a concept that I introduced to you in the last video. So if you haven't seen that video, go check that out, because I shared why marketing broadly, trying to create big email lists and big websites and things like that are not the answer. We want to chisel it down and carve out your purpose-driven expert niche. So if you haven't watched that video, check it out. So let's dive into the first step in carving out your PDEN, or your purpose-driven expert niche. Now, here's the problem. Most health coaches lack confidence. And it might surprise you to know that I hear that from medical doctors, PhDs, as well as health coaches and health coaches in training. So people think, well, if I was a doctor, I would be confident. Not so when it comes to this. So how do you find that confident area of expertise? Well, that's a good question, because most people are going out there and looking for it in additional certifications because they don't feel they know enough. They lack that confidence. If they just knew a little bit more, that would be it. One woman I talked to, she had graduated from health coaching school 8 years before. She had 8 subsequent certifications and was about to embark on 3 more because she just didn't quite feel confident yet. She had a few free clients, but not one paying client yet. That's no good. I think that you can appreciate that's not the answer. The answer is not out there in additional certifications or in websites or in email lists or in being able to order lab tests or in cookie cutter programs. That's not it. The answer is in here. So much like Michelangelo's statue of David, he said that David was already in there. He just chipped away the marble, the excess marble. And that's the same for you. Your purpose-driven expert niche is inside. That's where we need to look. So that's the first thing. Now, there are 2 main reasons health coaches get stumped trying to pick a niche. So on the one hand, some people say, I could help people with lots of things, and they can't pick just one because they don't want to leave anyone out. Or the alternative, they don't think they have an expertise in anything. So let's take the first scenario. One of my clients, Dr. Selvey, she was a medical doctor, is a medical doctor, and a health coach. But she also had Crohn's disease. Now, she had had Crohn's disease for 23 years. She'd been in remission for 10 years. But she can help people with lots of things because she's a doctor and a health coach and she knows about the body. And she'd already been in remission for 10 years. So Crohn's disease was so last decade. It wasn't even really top of mind because she had cracked the code on it. So it's not always obvious what your niche should be. But as we contemplated that, that is something she could really help someone with. She could save them the surgeries and all of the pain of that journey that she had gone through. And that felt soul satisfying for her. So that was a perfect purpose-driven expert niche for her. And she could help those people even more than her doctors could, because her doctors didn't know what it felt like, and she could resonate with her ideal clients. Now, on the other hand, just because you have Crohn's disease, that doesn't mean you have to help people with Crohn's. We have people who have had Crohn's disease and been in remission, but their area of expertise that they want to, that would satisfy their soul, was something else. And so you can do that too. So you want to check in and see, how does it feel for you? Does it feel good for you? So there were 2 women that were health coaches. Both had breast cancer and both were in remission. Now, the first woman I spoke with, she, as she was speaking, had talked about the cancer had not come back yet. There was this unspoken yet, and she had been good so far. And there was this undercurrent of waiting for the other shoe to drop. And she wasn't emotionally on the other side of it. Even though she'd been in remission for 5 years from breast cancer, she was not emotionally on the other side of this. And this would not be a good niche for her. The raw fear and emotion of somebody going through that would be triggering for her, not good for her health, and she wouldn't be able to be strong and great for these people. They would smell her fear. So that was not it. Now, that woman could also help people with other things like weight loss, and there were other niches that were more appropriate for her. On the other hand, the second woman with breast cancer also had been in remission for about the same length of time. When I spoke with her, she was saying that was the best thing that ever happened to her. It allowed her to have a wake-up call. She no longer takes her health for granted. She makes sure she doesn't overstress. She makes sure she gets her sleep. She started eating better. She is more healthy, more fit now than she's ever been in her life. She's having the green juices. She's getting active, and she is managing her emotions, and she is awesome. And she loves the fact that she had breast cancer because it was a wake-up call that was sorely needed. Now, this woman would be an amazing, loving leader, coach for someone else who is scared and being faced with this diagnosis from the beginning. This woman, the coach who had been through this, was strong and beautiful and vibrant and independent and fully alive and living life. That is a niche she could take on. So as you work with this, and as I work with people to chisel out their purpose-driven expert niche, you want to tune in. Just because you have a diagnosis or you've done something doesn't mean that has to be your expert niche. Just because you can do something, just because you have overcome something, doesn't mean that's it, although that's often a clue. So see how you feel about that. And you don't want it to be triggering. You want it to feel good. You want to be soul satisfied when you go there. And there's lots of things in terms of relationships or addictions or moving or being your culture. Use all of those things that are uniquely you to establish your area of expertise. All right, so now what about if you have I have no health condition, I'm not a doctor, I don't have any areas of expertise. That's the other scenario that people come with me like, well, I don't have a track record in anything. Well, that's actually not true. And just like Michelangelo's David, that marble that's overlying it, sometimes it can be so thick, covering up your zone of genius that you don't see it and recognize it yourself. So one of my clients was from Spain, and we were initially going to help people with emotional eating. That's what she initially thought was going to be her area of expertise. But her first 3 clients hired her to help them be healthy, happy vegans. Now, she was a healthy, happy vegan, but it wasn't always that way. But it didn't seem like a niche because it's just how she ate. But 6 years ago, when she wanted to be a vegan, as we comb through and mind her story, she said, she wasn't eating meat and dairy, but she wasn't eating real food either. And that had some negative consequences. She was bloated, she had digestive issues, she was nutrient deficient. But it meant a lot to her to be vegan, so she figured it out. And now she was lean, active, beautiful, vibrant, healthy, happy vegan. And that was attractive to people. So sometimes they will see it even more than you do. And that was easy for her.
That was easy.
Easy for her to do. So easy, such a part of her. She didn't even know that was an area of expertise. So sometimes it is like that. Sometimes your expert niche is a combination, like helping burned out moms who are also working as a nurse, or helping pastry chefs who happen to have a gluten intolerance. Sometimes it's a combination that you are uniquely qualified for. So as we begin to chisel out your soul's purpose, the things that light you up, the things that you love to do, and then we look at your track record, your areas of expertise, those things that you've proven yourself worthy to solve. And we look from those 2 points at the intersection of those 2 points. That's your purpose-driven expert niche. And so start contemplating, what is your purpose? Why are you here? What do you want to do? And what is your area of expertise? and let's start contemplating that purpose-driven expertise and expert niche. All right, so in the next video, we're going to dive deeper, and I'm going to share with you my secret strategy that I have not shared publicly ever, and we're going to uncover that in the next video that will help you chisel out and refine. I'll walk you through an exercise that will have you chisel out and refine your purpose-driven expert niche. So you definitely don't want to miss that video. And in the upcoming Health Coach Accelerator course, we're going to dive deeper into that. We're going to really sculpt and refine that into place. You can see how we chisel it off and we get more and more refined as we go. But also, once you know that niche, how can you do attractive messaging so that it can be heard by your clients, and so that you're not speaking in client repellent coach speak, which is number one mistake most people make too. You want to speak in a way that your clients can hear you, so that you're not like a dog whistle to them. So that's going to be in that Health Coach Accelerator course. So if you're serious about creating a successful health coaching practice, then you'll want to hop on the early access waitlist. We're going to be opening that up shortly in a few days, I think it is. So hop on the wait list if that is something. If you're serious about creating a health coaching practice, you're not going to want to miss that. All right, so we'll see you in the next video. I'm going to share you my best secret. All right, be good for you.